Okay, hello everyone. Day 44 out of our 90-day run to Hacking Better. If you have your tickets, I am so excited. We're making a huge push for tickets right now as we're talking. I cannot wait. Like, if you are not spending the next 45 days getting people to that event, you are crazy, because that will give you so much validation in your business. It will give you so much, it will build the belief of everyone that goes there so that you don't have to keep doing it yourself. So I would encourage you guys to do that. Playbook is this weekend. If you guys can get to one of those, that will be a huge lead into Hacking Better. So my name is Kelly Callis. For those of you that don't know me, I am an independent promoter with the awesome company Prove It. And today we are going to talk about advanced social media strategies. So this is going to be, I'm going to say, at least 2 days. I might have to follow up with a day next week to sort of wrap it all back in. There's a lot of tips I want to give you guys. And the outcome today is to have a lot of things that you guys can start to apply immediately. I think a lot of times we go on social media and we sit down and we're ready to do it. And then A or B, two things happen. We either get super distracted and go down the like, what is everybody doing rabbit hole, or B, we don't know what to do. So we we dial up our AOL. No, we get into social media and we're like, man, I want to work. What do I do? What do I do? How do I monetize social media? How do I make a business here? And that's what I want to start to guide you guys towards and start to learn how to do that. Okay. I am going to, I was going to skip recognition, but it breaks my heart to do that. So I'm going to look on here and I'm going to recognize Kara and Missy because they went to LCD, and I think that rocks. Like, anytime you show up to an event, and I love the fact that Kara like manifested LSD, oh my gosh, LCD happening. Like you want to see manifestation in action. She like had a room, was like, had her days off, was like, I got a ticket if I can get a ticket there. I have a plane ticket, I will do it if I can get there. And sure enough, who got to LCD. So that was awesome. And also, Deb Potts, I think it's awesome that you just got your Hacking Better ticket. I'm super excited about that. It's going to change your life. Gratitude. I have so much to get through. I'm just going to go through this, okay? Gratitude. I think that we're all in different places in life, and I know I've done this a couple days, but when we show up here, it creates a momentum. And I don't know if you guys can feel it, but my day is different when I'm leading into this, and my day is different coming out of it with this positivity. So thank you guys for that. So just to end Friday, if you guys watched that recording, I didn't wrap it all up. So I just want, we talked about Facebook groups, and I want you to remember that the intent and hashtags, right? We talked about both of those under basics. I want you to remember that the intent of using those is to find new people to connect with, and to figure out what you should search. You want to go to your U list, right? There's a million groups for pit bulls, 130 groups for camping, whatever you're into, that's what you want to be searching on those hashtags. And remember, you can do locations also, right? So I have a lot more people coming up in Pennsylvania that since I've been searching those hashtags and engaging with those people. And the goal is to support and engage, right? You're not going in there to try to sell ketones. You're going in there, that's the byproduct, right? You're going in there to support and engage and be a friend, right? When someone asks a question, you answer. When someone leaves a comment, you agree and you comment back. Facebook groups sometimes hold some angry people too. So I wanted to warn you guys to I wouldn't really engage with them, right? I think stay clear of the crazies. These people in these groups are going to become your friends. These people are going to become your ketone customers. These people are going to become your promoters, right? In this day and age, social media is a legit way to make friends, you guys. And it's okay to make friends that way. And so engaging on the posts, but also contributing is huge, right? I think contribution on Facebook, we said provide value. You can provide a lot of value in any group you're in if you're going off of your U list. So, you can set notifications in those groups when people post on their stories, so you can be keeping a list. Like I said, I have a literal notebook that when I start to engage on people's posts a lot, I put them in there. So if I get to a block, I go right to that list and start engaging with those people again, right? Don't go into ones that aren't you. Don't be weird, and go wide. Join a lot of groups. You can always, dial back later, but see what ones you're into. Just because you're in one homeschool group, that's me, but like, you don't have to not be in another one. You know, it's okay to be in, go wide, join a lot of them. And realize, I wanted you to realize from the basics training that nothing that I shared Thursday and Friday require you to change anything about who you are. Listen to what I just said. It requires you to change nothing about who you are. If anything, what I'm telling you to do is be yourself louder, right? More consistently with a purpose, right? That's huge. Make it fun. It's fun, not scary, right? We get to bring positivity to these people, and eventually we're going to get paid for it. Eventually, we're going to get paid for it. Remember that consistency game. Okay, that is all for tracking. Now we're going to move into advanced media strategies. So, like I said, this is nothing scary. I think the name sounds scary, like advanced social media. Oh my gosh, she just told me to change my profile picture Friday, and now we're going into advanced. You can re-listen to these. That's the beauty of replays, you guys. Go over Thursday and Friday until you got that down, and then come into these. And when you're looking for more steps, when you've mastered that, okay? This is just kind of a step 2 to what I taught last week, like a deeper shift into what you can do when you go on social media. And these are all, remember, these are all tools in your tool belt, right? You're not going to use every one every single time. You choose what works for you. Pick a few and master them. Implement them daily and consistently, and do them every single day. And don't get overwhelmed. Just do them, do them, do them. When you feel good that you're waking up and you know that, do a little bit more, right? We're all getting better at attracting on social media. That's what Thursday and Friday were really all about. Attracting. But also, if we want to learn how to monetize this, how to make a business out of this, then we want to learn how to engage these people once we attract them. And that's kind of what I want to go into today. So if you leave with one thing from any of these advanced social media trainings, I want you to remember that responding and engaging, when you increase that, when you lean in hard on that, that's going to be the people that win on social media. The more you engage, the more you respond, the more you're in messages all day long, responding and making connections, that's where you're going to start to really bring people in from that and get them as your friends and get them as your Keto customers, right? So today we're going to do content. Wednesday, we're going to do visuals and examples. Tuesdays are out for me, so we're going to have a different training there. And then next week, I'm going to, try to pick a day and bring it all home. So first thing, you've heard people say over the next 10 years, the best sellers will be the best storytellers. We've heard that multiple times in different trainings, right? And this is in all places, in your posts, in your stories, everywhere you go, you're going to engage more people when you're great at telling stories. And, have you ever told a story and people are like, you're so funny. And you're like, oh, I didn't even think of myself as that way. You can transfer that to social media. Be yourself, right? Go on there and tell these stories. Or have you ever said, man, I should write a book about my life because all these things happen? Here's your chance, right? Here's your chance to write out that book on social media and get people to know you and your family. You're going to figure out your own style for writing these captions, but I want to give you 2 specific ways to really get your mind going with these, if that makes sense. So we got the 2-1-2 last week. Once Nick posts those recordings, I will make sure I get that chart in our team chat. And that way you have that list to go off of. It's not you, but you're going to make your own list, right? Or you already did. So how do we write it out, right? When we got the 2-1-2 and we're like, okay, I have ideas now. Now how do I make a post? Okay. The first way, and you can do both and sort of play around with it. The first, who has seen the color personality training? Natalie did one. I did one. If you haven't, I would go back and watch that. It sort of walks through, 4 different colors. Red is really competitive and likes money. Not likes money, but that motivates them. Yellow is more of your empath. Green is more of your analytical person and number person. And then blue is like your life of the party, super fun. Squirrel, they get distracted. Think of Nick in the good ways. I mean, not the squirrel way. But if you haven't watched that, you want to look at it because you want to know the different personalities, A, in your team so you can coach them, but B, when you're writing a post, that's helpful, right? So this first way is to when you sit and write your story or your caption, you want to aim to write a little bit to each of these people, like engage each of their personality types. So you can do little paragraphs, you can do however you want, play around with it, right? So for an example, if we're talking about an award that you won, you might sit and say, to engage each personality type, you might say, For the red, or for yellow, you're talking about the emotions that you felt when you won that award. For the red, you're talking about what you did, who you beat, who you won, what you won, all that stuff. For the blue, you might talk about how you were up there dancing on stage when you won. For or the good time that you had. For the greens, you might talk about what it took to get there. Crunch a little numbers. How did you figure out how to get there, and how did you win that award? That's just an example, but you can think through. Once you watch that training, you'll have a better idea of what the 4 personalities are, and it takes practice. All of this is advanced social media, you guys. It takes practice to know to do this stuff. Even myself, when I think sometimes I'm like, ooh, like it's other people that aren't my personalities, this is an area I should probably watch my own personality training over and over and over again, because I find it even in my life, some personalities I'm like, man, like they aren't getting what I'm saying, and they think I'm aggressive, and you shift too. I think maybe I started as a green and now I'm moving more into a red, and so I'm not as sensitive. People have said aggressive, one person, no. But I think, you have to be engaging with all personality types. And that's a great way, not only to learn what they are, but to post on social media. Then you're attracting all the different personality types. But what we're not telling you to do is not be yourself, right? You're still looking for people who are like you, but not everyone who is like you has your same personality, right? Like there can be people that love everything I love, but maybe they're an empath, they're yellow, right? And so they're different personalities, but we still have tons in common. We're still each other's people, right? You want to do this because this is going to be super relatable. These posts are going to be relatable because everyone's like, oh, that's what you're going for when you're doing this. You're trying to pull in each personality. Another way, and the second way, and this, I like to do this more. I think the other one, I probably just haven't leaned in enough and done it enough to get really good and comfortable. So I fall back on this one when given the choice, but I love this. You can start with what you're learning. So, we're all going to raise our hand and say, we're going to up our personal development game. If you don't have a current book, reach out and get one. The name of the game prove it with anything, being successful is personal development, period. If you're not doing that, you're ahead of the horse here. Me and my sayings here, but you need to stop and pump the brakes and make sure that you're putting that in, because this advanced social media isn't going to get you nearly as far if you're not developing yourself. So personal development, when I'm listening to personal development, you hear things or you're reading it and you see things and you're like, oh, that was really good. And you start to like implement it and think how you can apply it in your life and what that kind of stuff. What we should do is say, okay, in the past, blank, right? In the present, here's this, and what I learned from it. So taking what you learned, and then you can start by saying in the past. That's where you're relatable, right? You're attracting those people in. Like before, 5 years ago, I XYZ, and then they're going to think in their head like, me too, that's me, right? And then you're going to be providing value in the lesson that you learned through social media, and then how you would change it in the present, or what you're doing now in the present to apply what you learned. There's huge value in that. You don't have to be a journalist. You don't have to have a journalist background. All you want to do is present the value in what you learned and your storytelling in the process. In the past, what I learned, and now present day, right? Beautiful. So both of those are very different ways to go about your content, or your caption, they call it. But I think it's really a great place to start when you're sitting down to write a post. So you have your 212 live list. And then you have this to sort of say, okay, I got my idea of what I want to do. Now, how am I going to go about it? Which is my way, and play around with that, right? Okay, so another important thing for advanced social media, photos. Photos are so important, you guys, especially on Instagram. Have you ever seen, who's seen a great photo and you just stop because of the photo? Like for me, I don't know why, maybe because a lot of homeschool families have tons of kids, but when I see these beautiful pictures of people with like 10 kids, I'm like, oh, how did they even do it? And I stop and then I read their posts, right? It's these photos, they're good, they're great at them. And so, if you've ever stopped at that, stop and think why, because that's attractive to you. You're not like, oh, she didn't even know what she's doing. You're like, dang, this girl's good, right? And you stop and see what they're doing. And so the photo is important. So here's some hacks on that. Who knows that on your phone, you have a selfie timer hack? A selfie timer. I'm sharing hacks. You have a selfie timer. So when you take a picture and you put it on yourself, you can hit the little timer. It's like a little stopwatch. And You can do 3 seconds or 10 seconds. So prop it up on the shaker bottle that you always have. And, you know, you can get in front of a light. You can see your lighting in the 10 seconds or 3 seconds, whatever you want to do. And you can see exactly how you're going to look. It's not that, you know, you're holding it out here. It's not that you're seeing your hand. It's not whatever. You set it up there, and then you can take it in good lighting, and you have time. You've got 10 seconds. You can make pretty face in 10 seconds, right? And what you want to be doing with these, and this is another one. When I discovered this, I was like, why didn't I think of this before? And I started to share with people, and they were like, oh, dang, like that's such a good idea. Who is not always pulled together, right? My hair is not always done. My outfits are not always put together. In fact, probably the majority of the time is other than that. But when I do have my hair done and my makeup done or whatever, and I feel great, what you want to be doing is creating a bank of photos. So that when you feel good and you take these photos, you know, put on a different hat, put on a different shirt, put on a different location, do a different hairstyle, whatever you need to do, have fun with it, but go out and take some good pictures. If you don't want to do it around your house, go out. Like you're dressed up, you feel good on your lunch break, go around to some different places around your work or go around your neighborhood, get some good pictures. That way, when these stories happen or these lessons happen or a promo drops or you name it, you've got photos. I did this last fall. That's when I started. And I was like, this is the most genius things ever. Because then I just go back in and I'm like, oh, dang, I forgot about that one. And you have this great photo ready to go. And you don't have to think about that. One last thing. I think the less we have to think about when we're going to make a post, the easier it is to just do it. Just hit it and go. So get the photos out of the way. That way you have one less barrier to just posting and going, okay? Be yourself, whatever that looks like, right? So you don't have to like go and, I don't know, put backwards hat on if that's not your thing, right? Mostly your face, and then go ahead and just do it, right? Fall in love with your face, because that's going to be your social media sales point. That's what people want to see. That's who they want to know. Okay. Fall in love with that beautiful thing. Okay. Next thing, engage and respond. The people who do this the most are, like I said, are going to have the best success on social media. So let's go some tips there. Facebook and Instagram. Respond to the comments that people are leaving on your stuff. Huge. This is a huge way to engage. So you post a live video, 15, maybe 15, maybe 40 people comment. And then you don't go back in and comment on any of them. Like in person, that would be like someone being like, hey, Kelly, like, so glad you're here. And I'm like that would be weird in person, right? So when they get in and they're engaging with you, engage back with them. Not only is it going to bring that video back up to the top, like we talked about Friday, but you're engaging. Like that's what people want. They're stepping up and saying, hey, I'm interested in your stuff. And then you're like, no, thank you. Like that's the whole point. The whole point of social media is to get this engagement. So engage and respond. And not only that, match their energy. I think that was a really good tip I heard at a playbook event. Like if they give you a heart, give them a heart back. That's all of these things are really ways to say like, get into action. Like, so matching the energy, that's a good one for me, because it's not like someone writes me a heart and then I have to go research what they're about. I mean, sure, however much time you spend, it's great. But if they give me a heart, I give them a heart. If they're like, girl, I noticed you, XYZ, all this stuff, then I'll go in and spend a little more time, because they spend a little more time there, you know, looking at my stuff. So then after that, go to their page. So now you've responded. They've put their hand up saying they're interested in what you're doing. So you respond on their comment. Then you're going to go to their page and you're going to engage a little. You're going to like and comment on their stuff. Be a giver. Think of social media as being a giver. Before you can get anything back from it, even engagements, even likes, even comments, even friends, even let alone, you know, monetizing it and making a business, you got to go in and be a giver, you guys. People want to know that they're seen and that they're heard, right? So go in there, create relationships. Go from the person that makes great posts. That's a good start. Okay. So let's start getting those great posts, but then go from the person who makes great posts to the person that is friendly, to the person that responds, to the person that cares, right? That'll help you build much bigger. Next thing, in the Messenger and DMs, Facebook and social media, or Facebook and Instagram, right? Have you ever heard the green light challenge? Who's heard of that? Okay. So when you go in Facebook Messenger, if you look for the green button at the bottom, you know, depending on whether you've updated or not updated your app, you'll see a button at the bottom with a number. Can be 5, usually mine's in the hundreds. right? And that's who's active. That's who's literally anyone that you've engaged with, not just your friends, anyone you've engaged with that is literally holding the phone in their hand and active at that moment, right? Go engage with that person before you post. So imagine you make a post and you haven't engaged with anyone. Or you go in before you make a great post. And Missy told me the other day, she heard, I think Jessie Lee say, like, if you don't have time to engage with these people before you make a post, wait to make your post. Advanced social media, right? Wait to make a post so you have time to engage with the people who are engaging with you. That makes sense, right? Because we want those people that we've been pouring this time into, pouring our love into, giving of ourselves to see what we're actually posting, right? So go in there, find people that are active, engage with them, and then make your post. And then what's going to happen? All eyes are on your post. Okay. So you might have to click a few times, but it's worth it. Like when you click on their name, it'll take you to their bring up a screen and you can click in their profile. You might have to click, but it's so worth it to do that, you guys. So, I think it's also notable to say that you need to go through and make sure you know what's going on in their life a little bit too when you're engaging. So I think, it's great to send messages. It's great to engage on their page because you also know, like, say, spreading so much positivity to someone, but say like yesterday, their grandmother that they loved so much passed away. And here I am like, girl, blah, like that would be a mismatch. That would feel not right. And so if I'm on their page and I'm engaging all the time, I know what's going on in their life, right? Not saying you're going to know everyone you're engaging with, but put that time in. Like this is, if you haven't heard it, I'm going to say it again. Social media is a game, a consistency game, a patience game, a relationship game. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but let's start tomorrow. Let's start today and get that going. Okay. Messenger.com. Who knows? You can go on there. You can go on there and you can click an unread button. So as you start to get all these messages back, sometimes you're going to lose some, right? It happens. You don't want to. You want to be answering all of them. That will bring up every unread message that that is out there, that's on your thing. And then you can respond, right? Because we want to be engaging, not ignoring. And then you can archive messages. So say you're going through and you're answering messages and you're all over the place and you want to get back to that one. You don't want to miss that person. You can archive it so that when you're calmed down and you're sitting again, you can go into those messages that you really need to get back into. I am guilty of that. Some of the most important messages I don't get into because I'm like, oh, I need to wait until I have time to answer that. And then I don't. And that's bad. Like I do that with calls too. Like I need to just do it and make sure I get back to it. So a way to archive that would be awesome. And they have it there. And you can search. You can search in there too. Messenger.com. Anytime, if you type reboot, any message you've ever had that says reboot, right there it is. Who wouldn't love to have that on the first day of reboot sales, right? Or a 5-day or experience keto or campfire. You can search all of it. It is follow up gold, you guys. Okay, so these are great things to jump into activity that will help, right? Jumping into activity is the key. And these are just tools that you can say, okay, I did all that. I did that. I did that. Like if you did these things every day when you sat down to take action, you know how different your business would look in a year, right? On social media, it would be completely different. So is social media always changing? Yes, right? And so you have to think of it two different ways, or you can think of it two different ways. If your glass half empty, you're going to be like, I'm in overwhelm. I can't keep up. Every time they do a training, there's something new on Instagram. Or mindset shift. It's awesome how many ways I get to share and pour into people. Okay. So think of these changes. If you're like, man, social media is always changing, think of it as, hey, here's another way for me to reach out and connect with people. Throw out the overwhelm. Get rid of it. Just get into action. The more you're overwhelmed, the less action you're taking. Call somebody and get it back up here. Get your mindset back up here, okay? So remember, these are advanced strategies that I'm going to be going over today and Wednesday. So just get started. If you're here, go to the next step. If you're here, go to this advanced. If you're here and you're already feeling that you're doing this today, go to the next ones that I'm going to share tomorrow and keep doing them over, okay? Last thing, on Instagram, you can click in messages and on the little 3 dot things, you can hit unread. Same thing as messenger.com. It will bring up all the ones that are unread. You can flag messages that you want to go back to. And you can flag posts. So say you're engaging on a post, you go into someone's Instagram, you engage on a post, you can save that to, you can flag it and save it to your folders. So you could put it in, 10 days, you can put it in future customers, future rebooters. So, kind of categorize there. I think you have to have the updated version of them to do that. But like I said, that's down the line. If you're already engaging, you're doing other stuff, that's a great way to help get organized. So like I said, if you don't see this stuff, update your app. Instagram is big, but it's also challenging in the way that it can be like Jenny Penny 1234, and you're like, who is Jenny Penny? Or you're like Stargazer 5. You know, it's not like these names you can keep in your head. That's why I like to write them all in that book. I just let myself not go to overwhelm, and I'll learn the names later if they become interested and we become friends. But for now, Stargazer, that's how you're getting written down in my book. Don't go to overwhelm. If it feels overwhelming, let it go and get back into the action you were taking, okay? And I think when you start to apply these little tedious social media things, they feel tedious. But when you start to apply them day in and day out over time, that's the secret. Everyone's like, what's the secret? I'm going to go to I'm going to go talk to this person and figure out the secret. The secret is in the work, you guys. So the thing you're looking for is the consistency in the action. Okay. So all of these, just listen to these 4 on repeat for day in and day out and day in until you take all the notes and do all the things. So today for the call to action, let me get minutes back up here. I want you to go into your Facebook and your Instagram each, and I want you to take 5 total or 5 each if you're ambitious and you want to grow this because you're raising your hand and you're on advanced social media, and engage and respond. Go to their page, start to engage, do a message, and start to go back in. And I even have done that. Like, this is part of it too. I'll give you a second call to action on your own post. Go in your Instagram post and look when people have commented. I've gone back through, and there are comments on almost every single one that I never responded to. I tried to, but maybe for some reason I missed it. So go back through your own and make sure you can do it now still, and it'll bring it back up to the top and people will start to see it. So that's awesome. I am going to let you guys go for today and tune in tomorrow for Attract